What is up? How are you now? Hope you're having a good one. What we're going to talk about is 3 games specifically. We're going to talk about Diablo, the new Jedi game that's coming out, and Dead Island. 3 games. I have a little bit of information on all of them. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to start with Diablo. Diablo just announced that they're going to have another beta test, one last beta test that the fans did not expect prior to the launch of the game. And it looks like a good game. I've seen some people play it and it looks enjoyable. It seems like the audience is really getting into it, and it seems pretty well refined considering it is going to come out soon. But this test specifically is supposed to be centered around the servers and stress testing the game. So a couple things that you're gonna want to know going into this beta is the fact that they're hoping for very large numbers, so you probably expect some wait times, and they're probably gonna load up the servers as heavy as they can, so there's gonna be a lot of stacking of people into servers to make sure that they're stressed properly. So a couple of changes they make, I guess they're going to add a little bit more of the story and world development. They're going to allow players to get to level 20, and if you can beat the first world boss in the beta, you will receive a mount trophy that will carry over to your actual game. From what I've seen, they've done a little bit of character development in the way of nerfs and buffs. Right. Barbarian class got a little bit of a buff in the way of damage reduction, and the Necromancer seems to have gotten a small nerf in its pet's abilities. So nothing serious, just flushing out smaller details with that one. The stress test of the servers, the new beta, will start on May 12th and run through the 14th. So you're looking at Friday through Sunday for all of that beta goodness. And I gotta say that when I look at games in development, I think I really like the beta testing model versus early release, early access. So survival games, if you look at survival games, they're all in on early access. Oh my god, Smallland, Valheim, Sons of the Forest, they're just all early access. They put it out early and they say it's early access. They're still refining. They need more testing and game development, but the game's out so you can enjoy it. But I think beta testing in small chunks like this and along the lines of Dark and Darker, I think give it a little bit more hype, and you get to see the game development, but you don't get worn out on the game before the game releases. I think the biggest problem I have with, like, say, Sons of the Forest is they released the game before the story and everything in the game was done. So you could go through the whole game and miss a lot of the stuff that they're adding in later. And I don't want to go back and check in on a game every 2 or 3 months after I beat the game. So at least in the beta testing small chunk format, you get exposed to the game and they get that hook in, but you don't actually get all of the game. I prefer that method of game testing from developers. I'm just talking about my preference, and obviously everyone out there is going to have a slightly different opinion on how a game should test the pre-launch versions of their game. Go ahead and let me know what you think on that. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is coming out soon, and I watched some videos on it. I saw some of the updates, and I like what the game seems to be doing. They've added more fighting stances, customization. They've really expanded the whole poncho system. You're allowed to do more than ponchos now. You're allowed to do facial hair, actual hair, really kind of like dive in, customize the character, still restricted to the one character. They've added more skill trees. They've increased the number of fighting stances. They've increased the skill trees that you can specialties from as far as your horsepower and everything like that. So it looks like the game is going to stay pretty close to the roots of the original one that people liked, but is really going to expand into that lore and universe and give you more options on how to wield the Force. So it seems like your character is actually developing and growing over time in the way he uses the Force, and it gives you more power than you had in the previous iteration, which is a good continuation of the series. And I do like that. But the word of warning for anyone looking forward to Star Wars Jedi Survivor is on the PC, you're going to be looking at 155 gigabytes for the download. It's not small. It's a rather large game. So if you're excited about it and looking forward to it, start considering what you have to scrape off the old hard drive to make room. So Dead Island 2 came out. Read a lot of the reviews on that, and it's kind of a mixed bag, but mixed to the upper end, which is, you know, good overall. It seems like the worst reviews that it got still gave it a rating above the halfway point for that scale. So like a 58 out of 100 if that was their scale. But there were quite a few that put it in the higher end of the scale, looking at 9s out of 10s, stuff like that. And I know I changed scales there, but there's no consistency. Every gaming company out there wants to have their own unique system for telling you how good a game is. I'm gonna do 5 stars. I'm gonna give it 1 out of 10. I'm gonna give it 1 out of 10 in 5 categories. I'm gonna give it 1 out of 100. Like, you know what? Can we standardize reviews? Whatever happened to the good old movies? 2 thumbs up was good, and that's it. Even with movies, Jesus. You have 72.5% tomatoes. I want to play the game and I want to enjoy it. I don't want to spoiler it, but I have to wait for payday to get it. And the big reason I have to wait for payday to get it is I heard it was $80, which seems like games are starting to creep up the mountain on game price. $80 seems like a lot, but it's comparative to the rise in cost of everything else. Hogwarts was $70. So it looks like games are going that way, and gamers are going to have to decide what the actual value they're willing to pay for games that are full launches is going to look like for them. Like and subscribe, do this stuff. You want all that? All of that. Hey there, it's Skeg Broggy. Thanks for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and follow me here on Twitch for more awesome content. Link is in the description.